Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Karsh Gowan. Welcome to Goblin Cave TV. We're doing an unboxing of Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, so you have a little bit of an idea of what's in the box, what do you expect, and just a little bit of a micro review, as well as I'm playing in the background Sirenscape The Apartment, which is the actually accompanying Sirenscape audio set for this adventure. I'm just playing just The Apartment with music, because I think it's a really good, just nice setting for the actual thing itself. And there is a lot of different ways you can play this game. This scenario has like 3 or 4 different ways of playing it. So depending on what your players choose and how they want to play, you can actually customize it. It's written for different scenarios. So let's get into it. Now, the box itself, not super thick, but around the same size as everything else. And I do apologize for the glare. The camera is reflecting off the lighting, even though it's not straight lighting. So let's open it up. Now, there's a lot of space where like it's not a huge thick box. So we have some really custom dice. They're not easy to read, but they're nice and pretty. They're certainly Cyberpunk exclusive. A few D10s, few D6s, and that's how the game is played. There's some pawn stands, really simple basic pawn stands. If you're not used to pawn stands, it's something that people from Pathfinder or Paizo would be very familiar with. So then we get the Jumpstart. The rule book itself, nice high quality, high print quality, and the spine itself is not just a staple spine. So nice good color. The rules itself is about 20 odd pages. It's got things on life path and a few other bits and pieces, but the rules are broken down to about 20 pages. Realistically, it could be less. There's a lot of stuff in those 20 pages, like artwork and things like that. And there's artwork and tables throughout this, and the artwork is actually done really nicely. It's got the similar style of artwork right across. Nothing on the back, no quick reference on the back, but we'll get to that right here. So it have an easy reference sheet. While I think these are really, really good, there's only one, which is its downfall here. So you have an easy reference sheet, how to do the skill checks, how to do everything, hit points, range difficulties, all that's there. It's got more information on the inside and etc. on the back. I think they need another one at least. So having one for the GM, one for the players would be minimum, not just having one. Generally speaking, I would like to have 3 or 4 so the players can share them, and so the players don't have to share them as much, but they have one each. But at least they have a really good high quality quick reference and a 4-page essentially quick reference at that. So then we get to the Jumpstart kit itself. So the box is quite deep, so I have to try and kind of tip it open every time. Again, high quality print, good spine. This is the world book. The world book has a huge amount of information on the world itself and the setting, because Cyberpunk is more about the setting than the rules. And so it's really important to try to get the grip of what the setting is like and have the players understand what the setting is like. Style is everything in this setting. It might not be, you might think you're the best runner on the streets, but there's always someone bigger. There's always someone that's more powerful. So it's about how you present yourself. So again, you've got a lot of bits and pieces here. Night City 2.0. It does have a big stop here once you get into it. So all the artwork, again, amazing artwork throughout it. And it's got a great timeline that goes from essentially where the timeline of the universe goes to and to the 2020 timeline. Again, great print stock, great pictures, the City of Fallen Angels, not to mention the Legion, the Chromies, the Gilligans, the Inquisitors. It's a really great book. It does have a big stop here because then it goes into the actual apartment scenario, which is actually quite small. It should be playable in about 3 to 4 hours. It's just a simple one-shot, but as I mentioned, it can be played in multiple different ways. So you can have a hacking version or a combat version or a talking version. It's played out in very different ways depending on how your players start reacting. The GM is so small, the GM can actually change how you're planning on doing it in play to work towards how your players go. Then we get into maps. Again, I try not to dig out too much of it. These are not maps which you can use your dry markers on or your wet markers on. While you may feel like it, I don't think they're going to be useful for that. But they're good quality maps. They're both double-sided and they give good layouts of the locations that you might come across in the game, in the small scenario. And then you've got your net runners, or you got your characters themselves. So the box is really, really deep. There we go. So we've got a good selection of good selection. We've got net runners, fixers, rocker boys, rock girls, nomads, and solos. Techs as well, and each one of them is double-sided. While the other side is more of a bio, it does have the big why you play a tech, what a tech's motivation is, kind of what they're doing. So, which I think is really important. Those are the most important parts of the character sheets. Now, if you have a look at these character sheets, they might seem a little bit missing bits. That's because this section up here, you actually, even though you're playing a pre-made character sheet, you do a life path while starting up the play. Part of learning how to play is how to do your life path and how your recent history affects your attitude and why you're a street runner, why you're a net runner, etc. So, as I said, even though these are filled out sheets, they're not fully filled out. There's a lot of stuff there which you add into, which then builds kind of your attitude. We have ran this on channel once, and everyone got into it really well. That life path really made a difference. It gave characters that motivation, and gave the players that understanding of how bad the world really is. Like, do you have a partner? Oh, yes, you have a partner. Great. Did they cheat on you? Or did they try to attempt to kill you? Did they betray you? Were they betrayed? Did you have to betray them? All these different things kind of showcase how bad the setting is. Now, there's also pawns. There's not many of them. I'm just got to be very careful because they're... So this is the only pawn card there is, and the card is coming out, but it's high quality print stock, cardboard stock, and they make it really easy to just represent themselves on the maps, where I think these are really important. If you can't include miniatures, the miniatures are a bit hard to put in a box because they take up a lot of space. Pawns are a great idea. I'm not a big fan of them generally, but for a beginner box, for a starter box, or in this case, a Jumpstart, absolutely a fantastic idea. So instead of bringing it all back up, I really like this. I think this is a really good scenario. It's a really good Jumpstart kick, or beginner box, etc. It teaches you the real basics and core of the system, but the important part of the system is not just that, it's the world setting itself, and does a really good way of expressing themselves and a really good way of just showcasing what the setting is and how corrupt the setting is. And the scenario actually does that really well. And if you have Sirenscape, there is the apartment in Sirenscape as well, which we're just having in the background as just background audio. So if you're looking for something a bit different, a little bit modern but futuristic, highly recommend the Jumpstart kit from Artel Siren Games, and check out the full Cyberpunk universe. There's so many products out there these days, and it's not just a combat game. Combat is just part of the universe, but it's not just combat. One of the great rules that I absolutely love about the game is that you can stare down someone to stop a combat from even starting. If your reputation is high enough, you can actually get the gang leader to back down. If not the gang leader, maybe all these cronies are behind him, so he might still stand up to you and then turn around and go, wait, where's my backup? So check out the Jumpstart. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all the bits and pieces. If you want to see our live content, we're on Twitch TV, on Goblin Cave TV. We're on Twitter while it still survives at Goblin Cave TV, and of course here on YouTube. Leave a comment down below if you've played Cyberpunk before, maybe Cyberpunk 2020. Leave a comment, give us some advice. What have we done right? What have we done wrong? But otherwise that's me for now. Bye.